When you're shopping for a car cover, there are three big important things you want it to do. Protect from the UV rays to avoid fading on the paint and damage on the clear coat. Protect from scratches like dust and sand getting in there, as well as other debris, leaves, bird poo, things that can get inside and plug up and rust. And the third one is water. You want it to be breathable enough to get the water out of the underside of the car cover, but you want it to be protecting you from the rain that comes from the outside. There's a company called YITAMOTOR that sent me a car cover called the Austosaver88, and hopefully it does just that to save this car while it's in storage outside in the elements. We've been getting rainstorms almost every day right now in the summer. There's going to be extreme cold in the winter and extreme heat in the summer as well. So there's a lot of variations in climate that I want to protect this vehicle from until it's time for me to start working on it, because right now I'm a little bit busy with my other Volvo projects. So let's try to take care of this unfortunately already faded 240 by giving it a good cover. Let's open the box and see what it's like inside. Bumper to bumper, a Volvo 240 is about 190 inches. This car cover says that it will fit 186 to 190. It's a station wagon, so we'll see how the back half affects the cover itself. Boy, they really squeezed that in here. Gee, even this plastic is going to be hard to rip with my hands. Some quality plastic. Okay. Customer support with an 888 number. Thank you for your purchase. We hope you enjoyed your experience. If you have any issues with product compatibility, damaged packaging, installation issues, or anything else, contact us. They have a WhatsApp number, an email, 888 number with hours on it. Nice. This is kind of neat. It is a lock for the cover itself. Now, I've purchased a lot of car covers in my day, and I've used a lot of things inappropriately, like a tarp, for example, which a good cover does not make. And there's a little combination lock here, kind of like you see on your luggage. It's set at 000, and it looks like we've got a little page of instructions on how to set the lock. Unfortunately, I don't read Chinese, so I'm just going to have to guess that nobody can figure out it's a 000 lock. Well, it took me all about 20 seconds to figure out how to reprogram the lock. With it set to 000, there's a little black button here which you push, and it kind of releases the locking mechanism on the gears. And with that released, you can then set your new code. I did 001 to test, and sure enough, 001. This is a braided steel cable that has a plastic surround and some ends to it that are crimped with a metal. Not a bad solution, and I kind of like that. That's a little bit of security that you never get with other car covers. Of course, anybody can just cut through the cover. That's not the point. The point is, this is just another layer of inconvenience to any would-be harassers of your vehicle. Or if somebody wanted to steal the cover because it's quite nice, they might be deterred from doing so, because then they'd have to cut it off. One of the things that really sold me on this cover is the fact that it actually has reflectors stitched into it. You can see some of those here. I'm gonna guess this is over the mirror and then somewhere in the corner. Another nice feature is the strap that's stitched in is with a little buckle, and then you can cinch it down to a tighter amount. Typically the first thing that goes is the stitching between the cover and any of its straps. It does also have an elastic edge and the rings for attaching hooks like bungee cords, etc., or the lock in our case. Okay, that's kind of getting jumbly here, so let's just put it on the car and see how she looks. Naturally, you want to wash your car before putting a cover on. Make sure it's free of any dust and debris. That'll keep it from getting further scuffed by any sort of layer of sand that might exist on it. For our purposes here, we'll just say that it's already been washed. And if it was recently washed, give it a once-over dusting just to make sure that there is no more sand or dust on there. It's amazing the kind of stuff that settles on a car, especially if you live in a humid climate. Mist overnight or morning dew kind of attracts all those particles to stay on the skin of your vehicle. The inside is a nice felt texture. The outside is a high reflective silver, which should keep a lot of the heat bouncing off the car, as well as deflecting those UV rays. They do feel like they're bonded together. Some of the spots with the buckle have a double stitch layer here. It looks like they folded it in and stitched it twice along the edge, so that should make sure it's nice and sturdy as best as possible. And a tag that shows me which side is the front of the cover. That helps putting it on tremendously. Well, she's indeed a tight fit on the station wagon, especially with the roof rack. You see the slope in it here. That's for sedans and other cars, you know, more traditional sloped roof lines, but I'm dealing with something that probably could benefit from the next size up. But it's enough to get me going. In many states and cities around the country, you really have to have a car cover on a vehicle that's out of service. This thing has been sitting for a while and registration has expired, so it is a good idea to keep it covered. Yeah, I'm gonna say definitely not very attractive with the undersize, but the point is not to be attractive, it is to be protected. Next time I'll do a better job of throwing it. A few things to note about this car cover and my final thoughts. I like that it doesn't crinkle like foil or rustle like plastic. That's actually really nice. It feels soft, kind of dense, almost like it's covered in a slight rubbery material. So I feel pretty good that this is going to last some time out here. I'm at 5,000 feet elevation. The UV rays are pretty strong, so it's going to be harder on this than it would be down at sea level. But the light reflected seems to be a really good first start, and maybe we'll just check back in a few months and I'll comment on this video to see how it updated. Do I think it's going to be breathable? Well, time will tell, but the important thing is that water won't get into the vehicle for it to need to get out. I like the mirror things. My mirrors are folded right now and it barely reaches, and it does kind of look like a wedge, the entire shape, but it's enough. Oh, didn't realize you were so high on this side. Yeah, one size up would be good for something like a Volvo 240 station wagon. Probably even the other cars. The hood is pretty long on all of them, so I would go with the size over 190. Another thing to note is just how it's going to do in the high wind conditions, because I don't want it to blow off the car. Kind of looks like a Gremlin, doesn't it? Or like an old Toyota Tercel wagon, those four-wheel drive ones. All right, that's it for this review. I gotta find a way to secure the strap here so it doesn't blow around in the wind. Huh, that was pretty easy. Okay. So that is it for the YITAMOTOR review. It got real hot today, and I'm pretty happy to have this on here. I just feel like it's doing its job in protecting the vehicle from the majority of the damage that it can incur from the elements. Check out the link down below in my description box. It'll be taking you right to the Amazon site where you can see other people's reviews of this, read about it, and see if this car cover is right for you, especially if you're parking on the street, which you don't see much with covered cars, but they're out there. These reflectors are a nice touch. Thanks for watching.